Hello everyone, welcome back to Dinkum Talks, Episode 3. And guys, we have a special guest. I'm so excited. We have ElmntrxBuilds, Benny, in the house, in the studio. And we're gonna get to talk to him, we're gonna get to know him, and we're gonna get to pick his mind. And one other great thing about this little interview, Benny had a great idea. And he's also gonna be asking me questions. He's gonna put me on the chair, on the hotspot, and let's see how that goes. So Benny, how are you?
Hello, g'day. Thanks for having me. Honor and a privilege to be here. I'm super excited. So thank you, Jersey, for the invite. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Yes, I'm so excited that you're here. We had a few conversations beforehand to talk about the format, to talk how all of this work. You have sent me screenshots that we're gonna show right here of your builds as we talk. So it's gonna be a great segment, and I'm so excited and so honored as well that you are here, that you wanted to participate in Dinkum Talks. Okay, Benny. So everybody's always curious. Everybody wants to know, how people got into Dinkum, how they discovered Dinkum. So, Benny, for you, our very first question is, how did you found Dinkum?
So I found Dinkum through another YouTuber that I follow called Stump Gamers, and they are a variety gamer. And one of the games they played was Dinkum. And I love the visuals, I love the gameplay. It actually reminded me of the game I used to play on the Wii. Yes, the Wii, called My Sims. And I decided, you know what, let's give this a go. And I loved it. And that's how I discovered Dinkum.
That's so great. I love hearing stories like that all the time, how people discover the game. Some people discovered it just because they saw a post. Some people like myself and you, we discovered through another YouTuber. So it's so great to see that, because that's a very similar to my story. I discovered Dinkum through a YouTuber named Bigwig. And between Bigwig and Consocato, they both were starting to play Dinkum. And it did remind me a little bit of, for me, it did remind me more of Animal Crossing. And I just came out from playing Animal Crossing, and the community Animal Crossing were feeling like a little burnout. So Dinkum came just at the right time, at least especially for me, to start to give it a try. And that's how I also discovered Dinkum, through a YouTuber. So it's so great. So very similar stories here.
Wow, that's so cool.
Okay, Benny, so we heard your story. Now you heard mine. We both explained how we discovered Dinkum. But now, the next question that I think is one of the most important ones is, why are you still playing Dinkum? What is it about Dinkum that is keeping you playing the game?
To me, Dinkum is like a sandbox game. There's no really an end or a finish. You can play this game however you like. You can speed run the game. You can build amazing different themed islands. You can make racetracks. And props to the community, because when I run out of ideas, I go to the Dinkum Discord and I have a look at all the pictures, I have a look at all the posts, and be like, that's a really, really good idea. I would like to take that inspiration and make it my own. And there's a project. There's something that I would love to see the end result built on my island. And I think that's the love and the attraction for me for Dinkum, is there is no end. It's a sandbox game for me, and your imagination is limitless.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I feel, especially the sandbox mode, it is limited. The community, it keeps inspiring us. All these different content creators, the official Dinkum Discord. If you want to look at their pictures, all the people that are just posting their pictures, posting their creation, I completely 100% agree with that. But now let me ask it a little tougher. Kind of the same question, but a little bit tougher, because because it, to me, is still so impressive how we are still playing the game, right? It's open,
Yep.
is we can continue playing, is we can continue to build, but what is it still, in your opinion, about Dinkum compared with older builders game? You know, we have Minecraft, we have Lego World, we got Portal Knights, we got all these other games that truly give us more of the freedom to create, truly to create the way we really want to, compare with Dinkum. But we still come back to Dinkum. We still play Dinkum. So what, in your opinion, what makes Dinkum different compared with other builders games?
So I play a lot of building games. So currently I have The Sims 4, City Skylines, Minecraft, and Dinkum added to that. And with Minecraft and Dinkum, I love the multiplayer aspect of this game and meeting people who are content creators and non-content creators, showing what you can do in the game is absolutely amazing. And to this day, I'm still in awe of the imagination out there. So I love the community and I love meeting people through multiplayer.
I think you answer correctly. Correctly in my because the multiplayer, truly, I believe the multiplayer is something that has exploded in Dinkum, and now especially, you know, we're testing it out, but the developer is adding PvP into the game, and I think something that's making Dinkum stand out even more now is the multiplayer aspect, and now adding PvP. And we know PvP is not for everyone, but how do you feel like how much of the PvP aspect in Dinkum now will influence how many more people will play the game? Do you feel like it's gonna bring more people to play the game now?
It's gonna change the game. Changing something like that, introducing a new mechanic where people can fight one with each other, is going to be epic. So whenever James introduces a new mechanic in the game, I can't wait to see what the community brings out.
Definitely. I mean, we're already starting to see people building arenas, you know, for gladiators. People doing like Hunger Games styles of game and mini games, and 100%. You know, every time a new mechanics appears in the game, something new, from items to now PvP to bringing the youths. We got jet ski, we got helicopters. He has mentioned that there's gonna be another vehicle. He hasn't hinted of what yet, but we got another vehicle coming. It's truly expanding the creativity and what people are doing, especially creating mini games. I think that's something, again, what you answered before, the multiplayer aspect. It is, people are enjoying the multiplayer so much because of that reason. To play together, to have fun with friends, and to create, either in building or mini games. It's just the whole combination of everything is just working to perfection in this game.
Just say, so in Dinkum, there are many ways to play this game. There is no right or wrong way. What kind of play style do you see yourself as?
Ooh, that's a good question, especially because as the game keeps evolving, there are different styles slowly, right? We're starting to see a little bit more forest core builds, very mountain, very heavy in nature. We're getting people to building a lot of beach areas and just beach resorts and all of that stuff. And there's like town core, city core. So myself, and one style that I really like to do is more the realistic aspect, and it's more building towns, having roads, having sidewalks, making it feel more realistic, and in that sense, in that style. So that's my style. I've been going in that direction. A lot of my other games that I play, kind of like you, in other builders or decorating games, is my approach always been the realistic approach. It's what I feel comfortable. It's what I enjoy doing. So if I had to pick, I will say like city core. I think that's been my style. But now I'm curious, what's your style, Benny? What's your approach, and what would you consider your style when you're creating your islands and your towns?
So my style, as what I do with work, I kind of put it in my game as my creative outlet. So I do a lot of symmetry and geometry and working with shapes and angles and dimensions, odd and even numbers. A lot of math is involved. I find satisfaction when everything is lined up or everything is centered. So that's kind of my play style. I have trouble with natural builds going with the flow. I'm not saying that I can't do it and is impossible. I'm just saying it takes a tiny bit of effort and brain cells. I currently have two at the moment. So it takes both of them to create something natural, be beautiful.
I can relate. I can relate when it comes to natural, making a forest, making just everything feel the different levels of nature, just having all these different heights and dimension. It's been something that I have to be practicing. I watch a lot of other content creators that do more natural because there is a technique into making things feel natural that looks natural, but you actually place the items. And I do feel like it is a skill that some people have that is really amazing. You know, I've done island tours that their whole island is literally a nice, humongous forest, and it's truly beautiful how they made it happen. And I look at it, I'm like, ooh, I'm not in that level. My mind cannot process that in decorating that way. I need my buildings, I need my roads. So I can relate to that, Benny. I can truly relate to that.
And touching on to island tours, I love going on people's island because when I say I can learn something from you, I mean it because there's something there that I like that I'm like, I love the way you approach this. I love how the way you think. I want to learn from you. Can you please be my mentor, please? And some people are taken back from that, and I'm like, no, I'm not joking around. I love how you did this, and I'm my own worst critic, and meaning that I want to continuously improve. So when I see people with amazing builds, and I'm still in awe with, people's builds, and I'm like, please teach me how you did that. I want to pick your brain, please.
No, exactly. I mean, one of my favorite things to do is truly island tours, and I know my island tours are long, but it's because kind of like you, I like to looking at all the details. I like to explore it. I like to discover, and I like exactly what you just said. Is they everybody builds in a different style. Everybody has their unique way to decorating. Everybody has a unique way to approach and use items. I just finished touring an island that they were trying to do Animal Crossing in Dinkum. I would
Amazing, by
never,
the way.
amazing, right? And I would never would have thought of using the flower boxes as a pathing, and it looks so great. And that's the amazing things about island tours or watching anybody playing Dinkum or looking at different pictures online of people's build in Dinkum, because there's something that we have not thought about how to use it, how to utilize that item in a whole different way that it truly opens the door for more creativity in Dinkum. And it's just amazing, and I truly love your answer on this because I can truly relate to that. But now that brings me to the next question that I want to ask you is your building process. You kind of hinted at it just a little bit before, but
Yeah.
how does Benny approach a build, a project? What is your thinking behind your process?
Oh, okay. So here we go. Um, so when I first start a build or a project, the first thing that I ask myself is what kind of style, and I touched on that before just then. That do I want to work on this build with symmetry or geometry, or would you like to be more natural? And what is the purpose of this build? Am I building it because I want people to come to my island to do some role play, or Is it a racetrack or mini games that people can
Mm-hmm.
use? Or is it for practicality and functionality, or is it just going to be aesthetically pleasing? So I need to find why I'm doing this build and what's its purpose. And lastly, where do I source inspiration from?
Yes.
So, do I source inspiration from Google Images? Not sponsored, sorry. But sponsor us, please. Um, so yeah, Google Images. Sorry, I laugh at my own jokes. I know it's sad. Uh, um, other people or from real life. So with my tourist playthrough, my most of my inspiration comes from as a tourist, where have I been? So I can put that in Dinkum on my island. Or as a tourist, what would you like to go? What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? So you see like the flower fields, my trip to Holland, you see the amphitheater inspired by the Greek and Roman um, architecture.
Yes.
And recently, spoiler alert, I am currently working on a courthouse because I want to provide an opportunity for my friends to be as ridiculous as possible with silly arguments, nonsensical arguments that do not make sense, but it's all for the fun and games.
Oh, that's gonna be great. Okay, so I really like that, and you mentioned a couple builds that you have done, and we're gonna put some screenshots as we talk about this. But what has been maybe the build that you're most proud of that you have done, and the other one is what build has been the most difficult that you have done?
That's a really good question, Jesse. The most proudest is the Northern District, the Northern Beach District that I have on Palm Paradiso. So there you have the honeymoon suite, you have the wedding reception area, and you got the wedding place where people get married, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Next to it will be my amphitheater, and that is one of the projects that I'm most proud of because it looks absolutely stunning at night. It looks stunning already in the day, but where it really shines to me is how it looks like at night. I really, really love that area. And I just love the beach in general in real life.
Okay.
And moving on to the hardest is again going back to my style. I have trouble. It's not impossible, but I have trouble in natural builds and going with the flow.
Yes.
My emu trail or my mu trail, there's no symmetry, there's no numbers, there's no geometry, and it's all improv on the go.
Yes.
But it turned out really well. And the reason for that emu trail was I want an escape from a paradise. So my Palm Paradiso playthrough is a tourist playthrough. And when you want to escape away from the busy city or town, you go to this emu trail and you just take a stroll on an emu or through the hiking trail and you just get lost in the wilderness. And I think I am proud of that as well, but it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I don't think I'll be attempting anything to that level scale in the near future. And the depth printers I broke was so much.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. But I like those answers. I like, it's as people are listening right now, and at the same time, all these pictures are running in the background, because your builds are stunning. I mean, they're just completely stunning, and people are gonna be seeing all these pictures as we're talking, in this little corner right here on the screen. So that links me to the next question that I know a lot of people are wondering about is why Benny doesn't have a YouTube channel. It's something that gets asked a lot. I have gotten messages asking, what is Benny's channel? I cannot find it in YouTube. And then I have to write back, he doesn't have one. You can go to the
No.
official Discord of Dinkum and find pictures that he has posted, but he doesn't have one. And people ask why, and I don't have an answer. But now we have you in Dinkum Talks. We have you on the couch. So Benny, give us your answer.
All right. So I had to think of this because I ask myself frequently, why don't I have a YouTube channel? And I'm gonna go deep into this, so hopefully I don't lose you. But the main three things that the reason why I'm not a content creator yet or a streamer yet, hint, is three things, and that's time, money, and motivation. So what I mean, and let's talk about this deeper. What I mean by time is I'm already spread thin with the time due to the jobs I do for work and the companies I work for. And then I have to fit some sort of social life with my friends and family. And now with my job, I could be away out of the country or away from home for days on end, weeks, or possibly months. Because last May I was in Japan for a whole month. And I cannot afford to do that to my audience where I'm inconsistent with my streams and upload. And as a viewer, and I would like to state the fact that I do not speak in behalf of everyone but myself. The reason why I mostly unsubscribe is not because I don't like them or I don't like the content. It's because they've now uploaded video or went live, but like the last video was like from 6 months ago. And I've literally got a whole list of other content creators creating the exact same content and are more consistent. So what's stopping me from unsubscribing from just one person? So I cannot afford to do that to my audience if I'm away for so long. So that's time, and my time is already spread thin, so thin. And also money. So I asked myself, do I have enough money to like invest into streaming, buy new equipment, buy new gear, and possibly knowing that I might get very little or no return financially in the early stages of making content. And the fear is, will I be financially stable if I go full-time content creator? Hang in there. I hope I'm not boring you, but I just want to say that, you know, time and money go hand in hand because time is money. And like what I mean by that is if I quit my job tomorrow, go full content creator, which I would love to do, will I be able to support myself? So if I take a day off from work to create content, that nagging voice in the back of my head will pop up and ask, okay, so how much money could have I earned if I worked on my current job instead of streaming for that day? Or for example, if I take a vacation for 2 weeks, how much money did I miss if instead I streamed for those 2 whole weeks? So there's always that nagging voice, and that one of my biggest fear is not being able to financially support myself when I take this huge leap of faith into something like being a content creator. So that's where I'm currently at. I'm trying to build basically a money nest or a financial safety net for me to fall onto for those early stages of streaming or content creating. And ideally, my dream is I want to be at that stage where I'm able to say, this is possible for me. I can quit my job tomorrow and be confident that everything will be okay. I can financially support myself as being a full-time content creator. So that's number 2. That's my biggest hurdle. And number 3 is basically motivation. So I want to delve into that because I think people can apply this to their everyday life. So here's a little story. So back in my college days, every Monday morning, one of my teachers usually gives a small, usually 5-minute lesson about anything and everything relating to life. And in one of them, he was talking about 3 simple levels of motivation. There's, I don't want it, I kind of want it or I do want it. So I apply his lessons to this day whenever I want something to happen on my own fruition. Usually when it's a goal, it's a self-driven goal. And what I mean by that is, for example, like I want to get fit, or I want to learn a new language, or I want to become more financially stable or smart with my money, how to save, something like starting a new hobby, like learning an instrument, learning how to fly a small plane, or even something like what I want to do is stream and make content.
Mm-hmm.
It is really, really important for me to know where I stand. Do I want this to happen, or do I don't know, maybe kinda, or is it an absolutely no, I hate this, this is never going to happen, I'm not going to do this ever again. So for making content and streaming, where I'm at currently is I'm at that middle stage where, oh, I don't know, maybe, that middle stage, but I need to take into consideration this, and this in order for this dream to happen. So tying that all together, do I have enough time to allocate for streaming? Do I have enough money to invest in all this equipment? And if I quit my job tomorrow, will I be financially stable? And am I motivated enough to do this? And will I follow it through to the end, which will be a full-time content creator? So, apologies if I've lost you, but there's my answer to why I'm not making any content at the moment. And what I mean at the moment is it will happen, but it's not going to happen in like next week or tomorrow or in a few months' time. There are a few things that I still have to take into consideration before I take that leap of faith into becoming a full-fledged content creator dream.
Yeah, I love your answer. I truly do. There's so many points that you hit that are very important. I think this is a section that a lot of people truly they truly wonder, you know, what it takes, to be a content creator. I think there's a lot of decisions that people have to make that step, to make that journey into content creation. It always sounds easy. It always sounds like it's fun and all that, but there are a lot of questions that when you start taking that YouTube journey of content creation it is, and one of them is time. And when you mention time, it truly is. YouTube can take a lot of your time depending in the direction you want to go. Content creation, if you're just doing video editing and all that voiceovers, you can work on a video that when you upload it, it's 30 minutes long, but you dedicated 8 hours of your time,
Exactly.
just to create that video. The other thing that you truly is true is the commitment, the desire. It goes hand in hand.
Do you
because
want it? Do you kind of want it, or do you not want it, basically? Where are you standing at the moment? And it doesn't have to be streaming. It could be anything from learning a new hobby or getting fit or learning a new language or playing a new instrument, getting into a relationship, getting out of a relationship. It's where do you stand? What is your fuel? What is your motivation to do what you want to do, to reach that goal, especially those goals that no one is pushing you, that is self-driven.
Yeah. And it's, time and the commitment, is those two belong together, hands in hands, and the motivation and the desire to really put the best content as you can, is something that slowly I'm discovering all the time. Now I have a newborn in the house, and the time.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But time, time is the biggest factor when it comes to this, and you mentioned something that is truly also, I truly believe is important, is your audience, your subscribers, your members. They're there to support you. They're there for the community, but it's important to create that content. And disappearing for a month and coming back, and then you disappear for another month. I seen those channels, and it's like you said, that's a different style. Some people, real life situations do happen. But when you become a content creator, it is a commitment. You always gotta come up with new ideas, new ways, a new approach, a new build, just dependent. And content creation doesn't have to be just building, but it's providing content for that audience that has discovered you, that has found you, that wants to know more about you, creating that relationship with your community and the people. So time and commitment, I do believe goes hand in hand, and I completely understand. I'm in that boat right now that I'm adjusting my time. Sometimes I'm streaming late because that's the time that I'm available right now, compared with nighttime. Or maybe I do this build over here and then I do another island tour. So it's time. Time is always going to be the key when it comes to content creation, and I believe you brought it up as your first point, and I think for me that's the big one, is time. Finding the time to continue to do content creation.
To expand on that, so I'm not a content creator and you are a content creator. So to expand on that, as a content creator, Jersey, what knowledge would you like to pass on to your younger first day content creator self? What knowledge would you like to pass on?
If I could speak to the Jersey that did his first couple videos.
Yeah, first ever video that you posted on YouTube for the world to see. What kind of knowledge would you like to give to that, Jersey?
My first would be, and I know it's a hard one to do because it's hard to take that out of your mind, but it will be, do not overthink it. Truly. When you do your first video, do not overthink it. Do not overthink your voice. Do not overthink what you made. Do not overthink. Do not try to re-edit it, and just do the best that you can. It's your first video. Just put it out there and go with it. Don't really overthink it. I think my first time thinking that I was gonna record my voice, I was trying to speak so proper, try to pronunciate, try to do something that at the end it was not. If anybody watched my first couple of videos, I sound very monotone. I was very shy, and the shyness is okay because it's the first time you're doing it, right? It's the first time you're speaking. But it will be to not overthink it. I was overthinking everything. But truly, if I had to go back and talk to Jersey about 7 months ago and I'd be like, hey, I know you're nervous about your voice. I know you're nervous about your accent, the way you're gonna sound. I said, just breathe, record it, and upload it. Because
yes, don't forget to breathe. That is very important.
Yeah, that first video, I think it is the hardest to upload because you want it to be perfect. You want it to be great, and your first video usually is the least viewed video, because by the time you really get a following, you're already on your 20th video, your 15th video, you could be on your 30th video, and by that time you have improved so much. So for me, it would be, do not overthink it.
And putting out that first video takes so much courage, because if you look at it from a different angle, you're displaying your hard work and video to the world to be scrutinized at and be judged at. And although there'll be a lot of positive feedback and a lot of positive comments, there will be that 1 or 2 negative comments. So branching off from that, how do you deal with negative comments on your videos or your VODs? And VODs meaning video on demand.
Yeah, so I had a few that has been critical and has made me maybe kind of a little bit change the way I was approaching my videos. One of them was that I spoke way too fast. And I was like, okay, I can see it because it's true. This is true, right? When I do my videos, I'm thinking, because the way I wanted to approach my way to do videos was I really wanted to explain my process. What am I thinking? The whole time that I was doing this build, what I was thinking of. I always wanted to find more creators that did that, so that was my approach. But I know I speak fast, and I think I've improved on that, but I still speak fast. So that was a hard one because I really wanted to tone down my speaking. I wanted to tone down my speed. I thought about speaking less during the video, and that one was a hard one. I actually, it's funny because you could have 100 amazing compliments, and then you get that one, and that's what sticks, and you overthink it. You have 100 people that truly love the video. You have 100 likes and you have one dislike, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I this is not good. I need to change completely. And I think every content creator goes through the same thing. I went through it, and what I learned was, first, I needed to talk about it. I just don't keep it inside of you. You know, my wife is a great person that I can talk to, you know, and then slowly we have a creator community chat that we all speak together now, and we share ideas, we share situation that has happened and how people have other experiences. But the first thing is just, and it's gonna be hard, but just ignore it. I know it's cliche, right? Everybody's telling you the same thing. Oh, just ignore that one. But it lingers, and that linger can really affect your content, and you will not move on from it, or you can truly just avoid it, you know, answer back, reply back. I've replied to every single one. I take their feedback, and I honestly do say I will try to see what I can do if I can change my format, and that's been my new thing. And I truly try to look at everybody that's truly giving me the feedback, you know, all the positive, and I weigh the negative and continue to provide. And if I see the channel still growing, I still see the views are growing, so I know I'm heading in the right direction. So you will know that. And that's how I handle it, was by speaking, especially with my wife, you know, just letting it all out the way I was feeling when I read that message. You know, just get it out of your system. Talk to someone that you trust. You know, it could be another content creator or a person in your life. I would truly suggest that, you know. And if you're a person that truly cannot handle that, as soon as you see it, just ignore it. Just ignore it for now. Another technique that I know a lot of people have said is, do not read any comments in the beginning, in your beginning YouTube journey. It's hard because you're tempted to want to read, but if you feel like you will not be able to handle, then don't read the comments at the moment, you know. In your early days, do not read any comments until you feel confident on what you're creating, and then you can start reading. But to me, it's more the talking, and just you can move on from there.
So I want to tell you a little story, again from college. Same teacher. Shout out to Mr. Randall there if you're watching and listening to this. I made it big in Hollywood. Just kidding. So my teacher, at the start of the lesson, he would write down the times table. So we'd go 1 times 1 equals 1, 1 times 2 equals 2, so on and so on, until he goes all the way to the 12 times tables. And when he reached his 7 times tables, he wrote 7 times 6 is 45, and the correct answer is 42. Now, he left it there to sit for a few minutes, and then someone picked it up straight away. And then the whole class chimed in and said, oh, that is wrong. Now, he let it sit for a while, and then he turned to class and said, out of all the 144 equations, there is one wrong. Now, those equations, imagine they're all comments. Out of 144 comments, good comments, positive comments, you could pinpoint that one out of 104 comments that is negative. So his advice was, why do we do that? Because we're focused on the negative so much that we've kind of forget the positive and how far we've come. So it really blew my mind there that yes, he has a point. all those equations are right. But why did we focus on that one equation that was wrong? And I could say it's kind of similar to comments. Why do we focus on that one negative comment where there's a flood of positive comments and positive feedback? And why do we do that?
I think one of the reasons, and this is just me, this is my opinion, and why we focus sometimes on the negative is because we, as people, I think we want to make everybody happy. I think we're trying to create things that everybody enjoys, and it's so easy just to try. Once we see something negative, we want to fix it. You know, we're like, if somebody tells, oh, hey, you're speaking way too fast in your video, I wish you speak slower, then you kind of want to accommodate. And I think that's human nature. I think as people, you know, we want to be nice and helpful and try to accommodate everybody. But at the end, I think everybody's going to have a style when it comes either to designing, as we're talking in Dinkum Talks, as content creations. Everybody has a style, you know, and then I think everybody will find the right audience. And I think that's something that really I learned over time is everybody has a person that they like, a style on YouTube, a style of creation, a style the way they find, you know. And I think also for young content creators, I'm still young, I'm a tiny little channel, so it's not like I got all this wisdom, but I think something that I really learned and I finally, like, I feel really good about it is people that want your content will find you, will find your style and will like your style. And I think we do try to compare ourselves with so many different people all the time, and what works for them, you try to imitate that. But I think the most important is be true to yourself.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
Exactly.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
You gotta be true to yourself, find your format, you know, in content creation or in building, in decorating, you know, enjoy it. One of the biggest example that I like to give in my video is, you know, there's this car. Everybody loves this car, right? But there's that one color. The car drives by and you're like, who will buy that car in that color? That's just ugly. But that person that's driving that car loves that color.
Yes, indeed.
And to me, that's the biggest and the easiest example that I can give, you know. Everything is taste. We are all unique individual. We all have a different approach. So whether you're designing in-game, in Dinkum, or any other game, or you want to start your content journey, be true to yourself. Do the content that you want, speak the way you want, approach it the way you want. The people that want that content will find you, will stick around, and you will create your own community. And that's the best way, and the best way I can explain it right now.
Just say, so with speaking of community and collaboration, what collaboration would you like to make happen, or the most memorable yet so far?
Okay, so the most memorable, and I think this one is, it will always stick with me because it was my first invitation to do a collab with someone. I mean, talking about being a small channel, I was even smaller then, and it was definitely Rips Gaming. I can't believe it. I got a message from him, and he's like, hey, do you want to come and do a collab? And I was like, I was freaking out. I mean, that was such an honor that he wanted to collab, that he wanted me to go to his island and just, you know, I still to this day remember, I took pictures of myself just in the office, like, oh my gosh, I'm about to go to a live stream, you know, and
that's so cute.
And I couldn't believe it, you know, and yeah, so that was and then of course, speaking with another person, I believe it or not, this was never me. I'm a very, very reserved and shy person in real life. I'm very shy, you know. I don't, with my friends, you hear, you know, it takes time. But in YouTube, I had to break away from that shyness. And when Reeps sent me that invitation, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to speak with another person, make conversations. There's going to be a chat. They may ask questions, what I'm going to do. So that whole experience has been very memorable. You know, it will be with me forever, just like my first comment. I will always remember Linda Harris, the very first comment that I ever had on YouTube. So those feelings will always stick with you, and it always stays there. Now, one of the most exciting collabs has been being able to work with AJ. A lot of people knows AJ. I've been following AJ since Animal Crossing and Days. And it's when you follow someone for so long, I mean, you never picture yourself working with that person, collabing in a
Yep.
build or something
Yep.
like that. And next thing I know, AJ is, she wants to collab. She's like, hey, you want to go to this island and work together while you do this waterfall? I can do this. And I was like, and I ran to my wife and I'm like, oh my gosh, AJ. And my wife's like, who's AJ? I'm like, okay, this is AJ. She does this. She Animal Crossing, amazing builds in Dinkum. Like I just went in awe. So that was like something like truly amazing and an honor to be able to work with somebody that I've been following for so long, and she tells me that I'm making amazing builds and she wants to collab. So I thought that was like, I just, I was just all over the place when it comes to that.
I know the feeling because my very first project was a stadium and was actually inspired of, shout out to them, by the KD gentlemen, Kyle and Dave. And when I first played Dinkum, I was on YouTube and I was like looking up 5 tips and tricks, and I was looking up playthroughs and how to go through the deep mines. And this was before quartz was a renewable resources. So quartz wasn't renewable and it's very limited.
Yeah.
And they were making a stadium and playing Roo soccer, and how the mechanic works is the kangaroo is a passive mob and it runs away from the player. Now with that mechanic you can make soccer, basically, in quotation marks. I'm like, this is a brilliant mechanic. So I made my own stadium, and that was the very first build that I made. And then I played through my playthrough and build more stuff. And out of the blue, guess who messaged me on Discord? And it was KD Gentleman.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh my god. Wow. And now I just, casually in this stream, and apparently I'm a third member, and James, I'll send you the screenshot. James said that I'm his favorite gentleman. Sorry, boys, love you.
Oh man, oh that's so great. Yeah, I mean it's been a fun journey. It's been able to slowly start collabing with all these wonderful creators. That's something that's special. I still remember the first time when KD's like, yeah, we're gonna have you and Benny together collabing, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. I'm gonna be working with Benny.
Me too. I was so nervous.
And it was fun. It wasn't the collab that I imagined, because we were building something, so we didn't really work together. Maybe one day we build something together.
One day we'll build something together.
Being able to talk with you, being able to hearing your thinking process as you're explaining to the KD gentleman how to do this and how to do that, it's been great, and seeing that relationship between you and the KD gentleman, I usually use that reference of the Karate Kid. You're like their masters, they're learning as you're teaching them, and then I see how KD gentlemen also have improved over time, their own creations, just by listening, working with you. It's been great just to see that also come to fruition. Talking about content creators, Dinkum is exploding. Dinkum is growing. In one of my previous live stream, I mentioned it's such a good thing seeing so many wonderful new creators coming into Dinkum, because that means that Dinkum is crossing over. Dinkum is becoming popular. Dinkum is growing. So what's your feeling? Well, where are you seeing Dinkum as growing, as the community is growing? Where do you see Dinkum heading next?
This is very ambitious. But ambitious is good. I would hopefully love to see Dinkum in the path of Minecraft. And what I mean by that is the community continuously growing. Yes, the game will dip up and down with its popularity, but that is the same with Minecraft. People still play it.
Oh, yeah.
To this day. People
Almost
still
what,
play
2 million people every day?
Yeah, and there's a huge following, and that cannot be possible with the developer alone. That's possible with a combination of the developer, the community, the Discord, the wiki workers, the. Am I missing people here, Jesse?
No, I mean, no, it's truly is. It comes down, especially I said it many times. Dinkum will go as far as James wants it to go. First of all, James, don't stop. But James has mentioned in the past in different interviews that he wanted to create other games as well. Dinkum wasn't just his only thing, but Dinkum also has grown to a whole different level that I know James ever expected, and and I don't know where James' mind's at. I don't know where he's thinking. If he has redone his whole life plan, and maybe now Dinkum has become a more priority on his life. But first of all, you said it right. The developer, Dinkum will go as far as James wants it to go, and then the second is truly the community. And I think this is why I truly get excited about all the new content creators. This is why I'm talking about Dinkum Talks, to get all those content creators in here and talk about it, because that means that the game is growing in popularity. That means that more people are playing the game. The more content creators, the more people are finding the game. The more people are finding inspiration, and the more ideas are gonna be. Exactly, more exposure, and it's being great, and I love it. One of my questions the other day that somebody asked me is like, oh, there's too many content creators, I can't follow all of them. And my response was like, no, that's a great thing. Find the one you want. You don't have to watch everyone. Find the one that you really like, subscribe to that channel, and support that content creator, because yes, there are so many more now. Compared when, early Dinkum, there was a big boom. Everybody left, and then there was just the normal Dinkum content creator. But now, especially in the last couple of months, especially since the spring update, Dinkum scene has blown up, and I love to see that. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. With each game, not just with Dinkum, it'll come up and down with its popularity, but in order for it to continuously become popular is the hard work and effort that not only James the developer puts in, but the community as well. And I forgot, silly of me, content creators and the people that work behind the scenes to make it all possible. It's not just one person, it's a mixture of both, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, it goes hand in hand. If the developer stops creating, then the game will slowly die out, because there's nothing more that you can do. But taking the route of Minecraft, I always saw Dinkum in two ways, and I think a couple days ago I talked about this with chat, and it was, there's two ways I can see Dinkum going. Dinkum can go the Minecraft and keep developing, keep upgrading, keep adding items, and keep changing the mechanics as a developer team will start getting more and more involved with Dinkum. Or it can go the route of Animal Crossing, Story of Season. It can become a franchise and then keep building in the mechanics that you had in one game. Once the next game comes out in 3-4 years from now, then what you had on this one, you have a new game, new code, and you add new mechanics, and you can become a franchise. So there's two ways to go, two ways that are very successful. But I kind of like the idea of Minecraft, but I know that a lot of the coding is already made. It was never meant to be a builder's game, not the way we're playing it. So maybe the second Dinkum could be Dinkum's 2, and then from there on it could become Minecraft with a better coding, better way to approach the game, to give us more heights, to give us all the other stuff that we want as a builders. But I'm with you. I mean, if we can go the Minecraft route, it's even better.
Okay, Jesse, I have another question, and it's the most important question, and it'll expose you.
Ooh, exposing me. Oh my goodness.
How many hours have you put into this game, and I mean Dinkum, currently?
Okay, so this is gonna be a tricky question, because in one account, and then you got my wife's account, right? In my wife's account, when she was helping me, we were doing a lot of the farming in that island. So she would either play her character, or I would play her character and just farm a lot of stuff that I needed. A lot of the times we make a humongous tree farm, we make mining, we make like that was her island. There's nothing built there. It was just for harvesting materials. That was the whole goal of that island. So my hours, especially when I was doing a lot of the grinding, it is on that island, but with her character. But she also played too. So in my main playthrough, in my main account, is strictly designing hours, basically. Just a little bit maybe in the beginning when I was doing before my wife wanted to join in. I'm about to hit 800 hours, so it doesn't sound like a lot. It's like, 800 hours. It's not.
That's still a lot.
Well, compared with other people that are hitting 1,200, 1,500 hours, But I think if I take maybe half of the hours that's on my wife, because I know I played a lot with a character doing the harvesting, maybe I get closer to 1,000 to 1,100, I want to say, if I take all the amount of time of the hours that I put in using her character when she wasn't playing to harvest materials and bring those materials to my island. So that was like the early, that was part of the system before. It was just a lot of harvesting, a lot of gathering. But on my main account, I'm about very close finally to hit 800 hours. I was like, yay, 800 hours.
Yay!
But I think if I had to take part of the other one, I think maybe, I want to say at least I'm over 1,000, but yeah. And it's just strictly designing. A lot of my stuff now is, my hours goes to designing.
Love it, love it, love it.
And no, I want to follow that. So how many hours you have, Benny?
No comment?
No comment.
No, I'll tell you.
No, no, we demand. Everybody in chat here wants to
know. Sorry, you're starting to break up on me. I currently have 1,559 hours. So 1,559.1 hours.
See, I'm telling you, I'm like a baby hour channel here. Like I don't have that many.
You know the funny thing is, I bet you 1,400 hours is spent on my Palm Paradiso playthrough.
Oh, I bet.
I spent so much time on that island because there's so much love and dedication, and I think with my island, I'm just guessing here, but when the full release of the game finishes or gets released, I think I might start a new playthrough because I put everything I possibly can with the items introduced into Dinkum over the time into my playthrough, and I kind of don't want to start again because I made so much progress, and it'll be weird to start again for me. Not saying that, again, would like to say that you can play this game however you want. You can have as many islands as you want. But for me, I've put so much time and so much dedication to this playthrough. It's like my little baby. And I know that sounds so sad, but it is.
It is. I mean, no. I mean, I only have 2 islands. One is for live stream, and one is my main island. If it wasn't for live stream, I wouldn't have another island. My main island is to do more of the creative builds, because my process when I come to building is before I start recording a video, I do a test run, don't like it, do another test run to a point where I feel like we have something, and then I will start recording. So that's my process, and my main island is for those build videos, and then live stream is to build now with everybody and do a whole different take, of course, with all the new items. So, but yeah, it is hard to divide your time because I want to work on one island, but then I want to work on the other island because now you got 2. And I know people in chat have told me they got 17 islands, and they go through.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out Ken. He always comes in the chat, and he has 17 islands. Some of them, 6 of them are a lot of them completed, he said. Other ones, he just goes back and forth. When he has a new idea, he starts a new one. So yeah, there's people that got 10 islands, 5 islands, 6 islands, and there's people like you and I that only have 1 or 2. So So I feel like I'm in good company with you, Benny. You know, we kind of in the same mindset here.
I want to try and find my first playthrough, my first island save, my first playthrough, and be like, what am I doing? What was I trying to do here? Like, I want to go back. You know, when you watch your first video and you react to it,
Yeah.
and then you cringe so hard because you're like, oh my god, I thought I was cool back then.
Oh man. Yeah. No.
So I wanna try to find my first island and be like, what was I thinking?
Oh my goodness. Okay, Benny. So we're getting closer. We're getting closer to the end of the episode. You know, there's only a few more questions that I personally want to ask you. If you have anything else you want to ask me, we're gonna start asking them. So the next thing, this is a popular one. You know, it's almost thinking. You know, telling James because I know he's probably listening. He's probably watching. He's probably right here.
No,
you know,
never. He would listen to me.
He's probably getting mad at us because you know we start asking way too many things and then the people get behind us. But you know, one question I truly like to ask every time I go to an island tour or people go to Dinkum is, what is something that you would like to see to come to Dinkum? It could be an item, it could be a mechanic. It could be just anything, something as simple as an item or as a mechanic, just something that maybe nobody had thought of that you personally would like to see come to Dinkum. Is there something there that you would like?
James knows the answer to this, and I will answer that by saying I don't really mind what James introduced. I'm proud of him regardless. So whatever he introduces yes, James, I know you're hearing this. Whatever he introduces, release it to the community and we'll find ways to decorate with it, to make something with it, to, you know, learn the mechanics of it. So whatever it is, James, we love you regardless.
Yes, I back that up 100%. I know we always ask, and most of my videos are based around inspiration and what I would like to see in Dinkum. So I know James already gets enough for me, so I won't answer that question because he can see that anytime.
I actually haven't asked James cough anything. So just DM me on Discord what you'd like. It'll come from me.
That's so great.
We'll cut this out, right? We'll cut this out.
Oh no, I'm leaving this in. This is gold. This is gold.
Okay.
Okay, so Benny, the next one question is your name, ElmntrxBuilds. Where does that name come from? Like how you that inspiration for that? Because it's a very unique name. You know, I would like to know that story.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll try to keep this short. So I used to dance in school, and one of my idols was Paris Goebel. And Paris Goebel is a well-established I can't even say that word. Choreographer from New Zealand. And the movies that I would watch was Step Up. And one of the Step Up movies she was in a team called Elmntrx.
Ah.
So that's where that name got formed.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'll be cool, I'll be smart, I'll add build to the end of it.
It is a cool name,
So
by
now
the way. It is a cool name.
ElmntrxBuilds. So ElmntrxBuilds comes from a Step Up movie. I think it was Step Up 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because Paris Goebel, one of my dancing idols, because I used to dance, was in that team, like that fictional team in that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to name my Twitch and YouTube Elmntrx, and then I'll be super hip and super cool and be like, let's add builds. Yeah, you know the moment what I said before when you look back at your old videos or your old photos and I'm like, what am I thinking? What was going on through my head?
Oh man.
But you know what? I love it. I love it, and it's sticking with me throughout my life.
The story makes it more funny than I think that what it should be, because
Yeah.
your name, the name is really cool. ElmntrxBuild. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's a good introduction. If somebody has like a movie theater voice, ElmntrxBuild. I don't know. Like the
Yeah.
name is great. Now the story makes it very funny, but the name, it is a good name. And then my very last question, and then I'll
Uh-huh.
give you the floor if you have anything else to ask for me, is, I do have a request from you. It's something that I hinted at chats. I don't know if you want to do it or not still, but I have you on the couch. I want to know because I want that. It is, I want a Elmntrx Instagram channel. So you can put your pictures,
Ooh.
your screenshots. Doesn't have to be every
Yeah.
day, but I think as the community that love your builds, it's a little hard to find your pictures through all the different discords. I
Mhm.
personally would like an Instagram or any other platform that you would like to use that we can follow. No
Mhm.
videos, just
Yeah.
screenshots. So we can take inspiration from your builds. We can find them and have them. Is that something that you're still thinking, interested?
I actually was experimenting with one because I currently have two Instagram accounts. One obviously is my personal account, and two is my work account. And I might need to make another email for Elmntrx Builds for my
Mm-hmm.
Instagram account.
So is that
So
something we can say it's gonna come? Do we, or still not yet?
possibly, it's not off the table. The same with streaming and making videos and making content. It's not off the table. It might happen, but it's not going to happen in like the next week.
Yeah. The great
If that
thing
makes sense.
is, with the Instagram account is there's no pressure because it's just
Yeah.
pictures, You don't have to, it's whenever you're playing your normal game. You're just playing your
Mhm.
game, you take a little screenshot and then you just upload it. That's simple. Doesn't take much of your
Also,
time.
just to uh, a tangent off this topic, it was step up 5. Okay, all right, I'm
Okay.
done.
Step of 5, guys. Everybody,
Step up
go
5.
step
Yeah,
of 5. Find that scene. Let's clip it,
Mhm.
and just have fun with it.
Yeah. Periscopal.
Okay. So Benny, do you have any other questions for me?
One more actually. It reverts to content creation.
Okay.
If any, what part of content creating did you find the most difficult to learn?
Okay. So for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, the hardest part was doing voiceover, talking,
Mm-hmm.
talking to no one, talking to a video, putting my process and my thinking into words. Uh, that was the hardest. That to me that was the hardest part, and then slowly improving on that concept. Like many knows, if you go to my early videos, it's very monotone. I was trying to be
Mm-hmm.
proper English, proper this, space things out, pronunciation, and then slowly I found, slowly the real Jersey started approaching, started coming out. I was able to be more of myself. But for me personally, I think the hardest part, it wasn't editing, it wasn't recording, it wasn't trying to come up with a build or idea, because that was natural. I was already playing the game. It was truly putting my voice into video and accepting the way I sound, my accent, and all of that. And I think all that came slowly because the community positively reacting positively to the videos, and that helped to accept it. But for me personally, it was that. It was truly doing the voice work on all the videos.
Nice, nice.
Okay, Benny. So we made it. We survived. You survived Dinkum Talks. We made it to the end. I feel like this was such a great interview. I do believe people got to know you so much more, in detail, in stories, in naming, how you name happen, the way you build, the way you think, the way you grab inspiration, all of it, all of it. And it was such an honor to have you here today.
And thank you, Jersey. It's been an honor. I'm quite humbled for this opportunity to be on Dinkum Talks. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm still in awe of you.
And Benny, you know I'm a big fan. You know, everybody has a goat in in real life, or doesn't matter what
Oh,
sports and all
guys.
that. So I'm throwing my card into the table. You know that my goat in the game, where a lot of my big inspiration and motivation to continue to create way beyond my capabilities has been through you. Is that's why I'm a big believer on your Instagram account, because I think a lot of
Oh,
people
thank
people
you.
can benefit. But I truly, once again, it was an honor that we are able to speak, to get to know you, to call you my friend, as a fellow content creator as well. Even though you don't have a channel, but it is you're a content creator. You are in different streams as much as you can. You're helping out. You go to different people in the different community, and I hear so many wonderful things. The way you help them out, the way you give them tips. You also put in your time and resources sometimes to help just people, and it's an amazing thing. I don't want that to go unnoticed. It's something that I've heard throughout the different people, throughout the different communities in the different channels, and Benny's name is always there. So it's an honor, it's a privilege to have you here in Dinkum Talks, episode 3. And what more can I say? Benny's the man, all of that. All the great stuff. Everything that we hear about Benny is all true.
Thank you, Jesse. So, I say goodbye. So, bye.
All right, Benny. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. See you later. Bye.